Today, I am going to be turning my 2026 Archer and Olive planner into something that is similar, but at the same time completely different than the Sisterhood of the Traveling Journal. Stay tuned to find out exactly what I plan on doing. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Tracy and I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. So yes, I am going to be starting a new journal, and I'm going to be starting that journal in my 2026 Archer and Olive A5 planner. This is a planner that I picked up in the spring when Archer and Olive threw their 2026 planners on clearance for $5. I picked up 2 of the A5s and a couple of the B5s. This one I have been trying out. I started using it in April, and then I used it in May, and then some in June. Then I kind of stopped because I just didn't need another planner. I was already using planners that worked. Basically, I just wanted to start using this because I had it, and I just wanted to see if I liked the layout and things like that. But obviously, because I didn't have a purpose for it, I did stop using it. But when I first got it, I talked about how great this paper was and how the layout actually lends itself very well to like creative journaling and things like that. So that is the reason why I want to turn this into a creative journal. And I want to do something that is similar to the Sisterhood of the Traveling Journal. Now, many of you, if not all of you, probably already know what that is because those videos have taken YouTube by storm the past year, especially this year in 2026 and even some of last year, where people create these elaborate journals that are absolutely gorgeous. And they have fun, like interactive prompts and things like that. And what they do is there's a group of people and they basically mail their journals to one another to complete the interactive prompts, to create their own decorative spreads. And then when you get the journal back to you, it's all filled in with all these other nice creative spreads from other individuals. I personally have not done one of those Sisterhood of the Traveling journals. I've kind of shied away from it. Usually those groups tend to be fairly large, which means it's a fairly decent time commitment. So like if you have 6 people in your group, that's like a 6 to 7 month time commitment and things like that. Plus, my post office has not had the best track record this year. I have been losing mail. I have been losing packages. I have had mail that's just sat at the post office for weeks at a time. So I just don't feel comfortable doing any type of creative journals that someone's going to create or I'm going to create and sending them through my post office at this time. So I've kind of shied away from that, but I love the idea. And recently I was kind of thinking that I think it would be really, really cool to hand off a journal to some of my family and friends and let them just have at it. Just let them do whatever they want to this journal or to a journal, create a couple of spreads, and I would have it as kind of a memory keeper. And I think that is really, really cool. So that's why I wanted to share it with you all. Now, my family and friends, they are not into junk journaling, scrapbooking, creative journaling, creative planning, decorative planning, or anything like that. So if any of them have markers or stickers, it is likely because their children are playing with it. Markers or stickers, not because they are. So one of the things that I am going to do is I am going to pack a whole bunch of stuff up and let them use my supplies when I give them my journal. So that is the idea. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I am going to pretty much, do this similarly, like I said, to how the Sisterhood of the Traveling Journal is. I'm going to do a few interactive spreads, but not too much. Like I said, my family and friends, they are not into this kind of thing. So I don't want it to feel like work. So I'm just going to do a couple of the interactive spreads, and then I'm just going to let them have fun decorating a page. I'm going to provide some guidance about like some things maybe to include on the page, like almost like an about me thing, but I also want them just to have fun. So if they don't really want to include anything about them other than their name and just throw some paper and stickers on the page, that's going to be fine with me. Because like I said, it's going to mean a lot to have a book of a whole bunch of spreads created by those that I love. So that is what we're going to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm definitely going to rip this out. I might be able to repurpose this one. These will be easy to repurpose. I'm going to go ahead and tear out my planner pages that I've already used. Okay, so I took out 3 months. So this is what we have left. This is going to be more than enough. I'll probably take out some more. After I finish my pages, I will probably take out the calendar pages. I think that my friends and family, they can use these. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a few pages as well that are like about me, to give them guidance. I think I'm going to do it a couple of different ways. I'll probably do that in another video, but you know, I feel like because these are individuals that are not used to crafting, they might want some ideas other than just all the supplies that I give them. So like I'm going to give them ideas of how to use these pages. One would be to cover it all up. And then the other one I think I'm going to do is use the boxes, to do some fun things in. I will be writing out all of the dates and everything like that before I give that to them. So let's go ahead and start covering things up because of this gorgeous cover and, you know, the gorgeous inside. I definitely want to go with the celestial theme. I have a little bit of scrapbook paper left over. Well, I mean, I have a lot right here. So this I'll probably use. Ooh, there's some Halloween stuff too. Okay, so I'm going to use probably more of the celestial stuff, so like the stars and stuff like that. So I don't know how much is in here for that. And then I have the Theater of the Stars one. And this one has some cool things in here. Like this is a definite. Let's see here. I like this, but I don't think I can really make that work very well. Yeah, I think it's going to be hard to make that work. Oh man, I don't have hardly any of this paper left over. I do like those, so we might use some of those. Wow, I thought I had more. I vastly underestimated how much scrapbook paper I had left. We might have to go buy some more. Okay, that's all I have left in this book. What did I do with this? I think I made dividers. Maybe I'll have to go hunt those dividers down and reuse them. I like these. I like this. Okay, for this one, we're definitely going to use that. We'll use in anything that has like the sky in it. I don't think I have any more papers. All right, so this will help me cover up the planner pages. I also have some of these. I do think I'm going to tear some of these out and give them to put them in the packets as well. People might want to do like a fun collage. I don't know. Like I said, they might see it and think it's the coolest thing ever. So I don't know what to put in the packet. This is more like Zodiac type stuff. That was a paper pack. I don't know that I would use this in here. I think this came from Korea Crafts. I have some stickers that came from Korea Crafts as well. And I have so much Celestial washi. So much Celestial washi. Plus, is this it? I have this sticker book. I don't know if I have another one. I know I have the Live La Posh Magical, like the magic one. I forgot what it's called. But I have this, and I have all of this. So that's enough to get started. Because like I said, because I'm doing this for family and friends who, I don't want to say they're not crafty. Maybe I should, like, because they could be, right? They just don't craft. So, you know, this is also my way to maybe convince people to love it and want to craft with me. I also have printed out some things for the pages I want to create. We're going to start with this one. I decided to use the various night sky pieces of paper from that 8.5 by 11 paper pack that I got from Michael's a few years ago, mainly because it was busy enough where whatever stickers I put on top of it, you still knew what the pattern was behind it. There really wasn't a pattern. It's just stars. So I felt like that was probably the way to go. This paper is almost big enough to cover both pages. It's just a little bit short, and one of the reasons why it's a little bit short is there's this little tiny white strip at the very top of the page, plus a hole right in the center so they can hang it from one of those little wire things in the store. And if the pattern went all the way up to the top, this probably would have been long enough. But what I try to do is line it up to the edge of the paper rather than toward the coil. Because I felt like it was fine if there was a bigger gap by the coil. I thought it looked, I think it looks okay with the page showing near the coil. And, you know, with this Archer and Olive planner in particular, there's a lot of room around the perimeter of the page and along the coil, so it really didn't matter if the paper didn't go all the way to the edge. It didn't show any lines or anything because it was just a blank piece of paper that would be showing. Now, the clip art. Let's talk about the clip art. So on this page, this is going to be my title page. I don't know the title yet, so it's to be determined. Let me know what you guys suggest. But I got all of this particular clip art from Canva. So some of it came from Creative Fabrica, some of it came from Canva, but all of this came from Canva. And I believe these are all Canva Pro images. I did have Canva Pro at the time that I got all of these images. And what I did is I just put them on a document that I created in Canva. I think I made the document like 6 by 9 because that's pretty close to the dimensions in Canva. In Cricut. So I put all the images on the document in Canva, saved it as a PNG with a transparent background, and then just uploaded that document into my Cricut design space. I did add a really small offset, like a 0.029 offset, just in case my Cricut got a little wonky, and cut it a little, a little off, which it did for one of them. It gives me a little bit of breathing room. So that's the reason why I did that. So yeah, that's how I did that, just in case you were wondering how I put the clip art into my Cricut design space. And yeah, I just kind of went with your regular space images here, a little kind of cartoonish, but I think that works. So the next page that I am going to create, this is going to be my check-in page. These stars were also from Canva, so I did it the same exact way. I wanted these stars to be large enough so people can just write the name and then the date. So like they can just put in one date. So the date that they sit down to fill in the book, the date they got the book, whatever, it doesn't matter. I just want them to do that. So no pictures or anything like that, just their name and all of that information. So I used the black sheet of paper because I knew this was only going to be a one-pager, or at least I thought. Well, when I say one-pager, I mean like I'm counting the 2 pages are across from one another as one page. But you will see later I start second-guessing that, and I'm like, am I going to give this more to 8 people? Maybe. So I do go back later and add a second page with the background only because I'll have to create more stars. But yeah, so basically that's as simple as this page is going to be. I really didn't have any other ideas. Like I said, I wanted to keep this very like space celestial somehow, like in that realm. And I thought stars, I'm like, that's enough room on there to write. So we'll just go with that. I am going to do a title that just says check-in. I was going to use these Archer and Olive alphabets that I got in their fall 2025 subscription box, but I didn't realize that like every alphabet was on a different color background, and I didn't want one that had a pink background, one that had a yellow. I'd rather for it all to be cohesive, so I'll either create a title on my Cricut, or I will just use like letters that I have from like Happy Planner, Live, Love, Posh, or Caliber Plan, and put that in later. Probably when I come back for the part 2 of the video later on, you'll see all the titles done at that point. It just wasn't a priority at the moment. All right, so now let's talk about the fun page. I was really, really excited about this page. So this was like my first idea. This was the first idea. I thought it would be really cool if everybody picked an astronaut. So I wanted to have all these different astronauts of like kind of, it was very hard to find astronauts of like different types of personalities. I got all of these from Creative Fabrica. If you don't know what Creative Fabrica is, it is a website that you can subscribe to for like $47 a year, and you get access to like unlimited clip art. There's like so much clip art on there. Some of it is AI generated. I do recognize that. Some of it is not, but some of it is, but that is the world that we're living in now. But, you know, for $47 a year, you can just download whatever you want from there and turn it into stickers or backgrounds or whatever you want. You can even do something commercially with it, but I don't understand all of those rules. So I know I'm not going to do that anyway. So I just use it for personal use. But I found all of these really cool astronauts. And what I'm going to do, you can see the first one I put on the page. I have my face in it. So I'm going to make everybody's face really, really tiny so I can put it in the helmet of an astronaut, or they can put it in the helmet of an astronaut. So they're going to pick their astronaut. It can be any astronaut. At first, what I was going to do is like just have the astronauts like paper clipped to the page, and then they pull off whatever one they want from the sticker sheet and slap it on there. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'm like, we're just making it simple. They can flip through, look at the astronauts, figure out which one is there, you know, which one they want, and just put their face on it. We're going to do it like that. So there may be more astronauts than there are people. I may have to print out some more astronauts if I really want to do some more, like hand this book off to other people. So we'll see. I think this is a really cool idea. You'll see as I start putting the astronauts on the page, I only put 2 to 3 to a page. They were fairly large, but I needed them to be large because the faces are going to be tiny as it is, and I needed the helmets to be big enough to hold those tiny faces. So that is the reason why they're large. But again, I have plenty of pages in this book, so it's not a problem. But I don't remember what I was going to say. But this is my favorite part of the book. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I put 2 to 3 to the page. And I don't know if I'm going to go this route yet because it might be too much. But I may put some box stickers and paper clip it to the top. So if they want to put a box next to their astronaut, to maybe if there is a, like, do astronauts have like code names? You know, like pilots sometimes have code names or whatever. Do astronauts have code names? Because if they, you know, if they do, maybe you can create a code name for your astronaut, or maybe you can like tell us about your astronaut, like why you picked that astronaut, like the one that's sipping coffee, or like, you know, the one that's doing like meditation or whatever. I don't know. I got to think on that because again, I want to keep this simple. I don't want people to feel overwhelmed. So we'll see. So I did pick this type of paper here because some of the astronauts are not floating in space. They're like on some type of surface. So I was like, okay, I don't have anything like that's red in this paper pack. I'm sure I have some solid red paper somewhere, but I'm like, you know, again, I'm trying to make this easy for me too. So I used this. This looks like this could be a surface, right? You know, I mean, or it could be, you know, I don't know, the Milky Way. Who knows? But it's different than the stars. So this is where I'm going to put all the astronauts that look like they could be on the ground. There's a couple that are still could be floating, but I just wanted to have a different background option. It's as simple as that. But yeah, that's pretty much this spread. Like I said, this ended up being a lot longer or a lot more pages that I had originally anticipated, but I think it's fine. Like I said, I have plenty. Now, you didn't see me put any astronauts on that very first page, and that is because that's where I'm going to house the instructions. I don't want to have all of the instructions at the beginning of the page for what I want people to do, or at the beginning of the book for what I want people to do. I'm going to put the instructions on each page. Like I said, these are not crafters. These are not people. Sorry, I don't want to say there aren't crafters, but they don't craft very often, if at all. And they aren't familiar with like this type of project. So I don't want to have them keep flipping. So I'm just going to have the instructions at the very beginning of the actual page that they will be working on. So like when we get to future pages, like this page right here, I will have the instructions for what to do on this page. Now this page, you can see I have a big moon here. Because of the big moon, I get to use this ripped piece of paper right here, because the moon should cover most of that up. But I'm also going to have to use some of that other paper as well to put on the second page, because this ripped paper, I can't put it on both pages. But that's fine. I will cut this moon in half. You will see me do that in a little bit, where I put half on one page and half on the other. So the interactive piece of this is, this is going to sound so silly, but I really wanted people to like draw or doodle or color. At first I was thinking about putting like a spaceship or a rocket ship on the page and have them like graffiti it. But I mean, I live in the city, you know, that's like what I thought of. But then I was like, you know what? That was like the big thing with when you first land on the moon, you put they put the American flag on the moon. So I'm like, I'm just going to have people decorate a flag that's on the moon. So I put a whole bunch of flags on the moon, and people can pick a flag and they can decorate it. They can either put stickers on it or color it or doodle or do whatever. And I will say that in the instructions. I will be like, pick a flag and just decorate it. And I'll put on there some examples and bullet points like stickers, draw, color, draw, do whatever. So that is the concept behind this. The flags, I needed to make them large, so they do look a little weird. I will say they look a little weird. They're really big for this moon, even as big as this moon is. But I didn't want it tiny flags, because then you can't place a sticker on it if you want to. Or if you doodle, I won't maybe not be able to see what you actually draw because it's so small. So I had to make them fairly large. So I think there ends up being 8 on here. There would have been 9, but you will see me remove one because I just did not like the way it looked. It hung over the edge, and when I cut it, it just looked like a big box, and I didn't like the way that looked. So I do remove 1, and I think it ends up being 8. So again, if there ends up being more than 8, and I mean, actually be more than 7, because I'm going to be one of those people, because I have to do my own. So again, to give people ideas, then I'll have to do this again. So I will be leaving a space. This is the last spread that I do today. So I'll just leave a blank page. What I may do is just put like a little paper clip at the top to paper clip the 2 pages together. I don't know. I don't want to confuse people when they're flipping through, but I also don't want to create a new page unnecessarily, especially if I don't give this to more than 7 other people. So we'll see. That's something I have to think about before I actually start handing it out. The one that I'm putting on now, that is the one I ended up removing. It looked fine until I cut it. And now it just looks like a box. So that's the reason why I do remove it. But you can just see how big the flags are. This was such a good idea in my brain, and I still think it's a good idea. It just doesn't look as pretty as I thought it would. Hopefully it looks better when people decorate it. But this was not like my best. This was not my best choice. I think another choice would have been better. I think the graffiti would have been really cool, right? Graffiti in the the spaceship. So yeah, the only other thing that I'm going to be doing as part of this setup is I'm going to go back to the very first page and just throw something on that to make it look cute. And then that's going to be it, because I'm going to be doing everything else later on. Again, when that later on is, I don't know. But this is pretty much all I'm going to do today. And y'all, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I haven't done this theme before, and trying to think of simple prompts for other people to do, I will say I really enjoyed it. All right, y'all. So part one of the video is done. The initial setup is complete. Still need to do my title. I did go ahead and add another page for the check-in, because as I started doing this, I'm like, oh my gosh, it'll be fun to give it to this person, this person, this person. Will I do that? I don't know, but I would like to have the page ready to go, which also means, do I need more astronauts? If I do, I might need to add another page right here for some more astronauts. I might do that. Like I said, if I was to do that, I can go ahead and show you that, because I have plenty of pages. Let's do one of the pages that I am going to probably be removing anyway. These. Oh, smaller scissors. Bigger scissors won't work. Oh, wow. Do I need to clean my scissors? All right. So I would just go in between these are O-rings, right? Is that what they're called? I'll just go in between them, snip the page like this. Pull it off of the rings carefully, because I don't want to rip them. But you see, it pretty much acts like disc at that point. And then I can come here, and if I decide I want some more astronauts that are in the sky, or if I decide I want some that can be on the ground, then I would just pop the page on here. And then just go from there and add some more paper to this. And see, look how I'm pulling on it. So it's pretty sturdy. So that is something that can be done. I'll just leave it there. It's fine. So that is an option. If you do something and you're like, oh, I need an extra page with these O-rings, you can do it. You can also do it with the spiral as well. A bound, you would have to do like a tip in. So you would just have to attach an extra sheet of paper to the edge or to the middle using washi, or they actually have tip in tape now. I haven't used any of that, but you can do that. So there are ways to add pages after you've already created things, which now that I've done this, I might want to add some more pages, because I'm just thinking, why not like give this to everybody I know that's local, you know? I'm getting way ahead of myself. But yeah, so there we go. This was so much fun. I am like already I'm just thinking about how much fun it's going to be when I receive this back. I'm just really looking forward to doing this. So like in part two, like I said, we're going to do a couple of more setups of my interactive spreads. Very simple, very, very simple. Probably something like add movie or something like that to it, like a movie list. Something where I think it like helps the people that follow them as well. So like if there's a movie list of your favorite space themed movie or TV show, people might get ideas from just looking at the list too. So it's helpful for everyone. And then you can or can't, don't have to fill it out. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to do my 2 pages as well. So I'm going to do them completely different. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to cover one completely with paper, stickers, or something like that. And then I'm going to do the other a little bit more like with a little bit more breathing room, because I'll use this page to do that where there are boxes. So that way when people look through there, then they can see the 2 options and kind of figure out what's best for them. Like I said, I'm going to be giving people a packet. I'm not exactly sure what that packet is going to include, but I did start pulling out some of the scrapbook sticker paper sheets from Amy Plans Things, Moments, and Moods sticker book. These are some of the ones that I didn't use. I used a lot of them, but these are some of the other ones. So I'm going to put these in the packets because I don't know what their mood is going to be and what they're going to want to use. So they might want to use these, they may not. Like I said, I'll probably also throw some scrapbook paper and things like that in there. It's not going to be like heavy scrapbook paper. It'll be like some of this. I have some more thinner ones. And it's not going to be all Celestial. I'll probably throw a few Celestial ones in there. But like I said, I don't want people to feel like they have to stick to this theme. When I do my About Me pages, I'm probably going to stray from that. So that way they don't feel like they have to tie to that. What I'll also do, not necessarily this washi, but I'm going to take, I know I have cards somewhere. Like these cards, I'm going to wrap a couple of pieces of washi around so that way people can have several different options if they want to use washi tape or things like that. What I'll do is I'll try to like do some basic washi or washi that people will like. Probably not my favorite washi though. I mean, this is also going to be the opportunity to get some of the things that I don't use. So I won't be putting my favorite washi on there, but I'll be putting some other washi. I have a lot of PET tape. Some of that is my favorite, but with PET tape, you have several loops. So I can part with one loop. So I'll do some of that. So there's going to be like a whole package of stuff that I'm going to give to them. I got to figure out how I would organize it. I'll probably put a glue stick in there as well. I'll probably will not put any tape in there just because I'm limited on my tape and I need my tape. But I have plenty of glue sticks. So we'll do glue sticks, but they're going to mainly have stickers. So this will only be used if they're sticking something else. And they might have stuff at their house and they might want to stick that on there. So I will put a glue stick in there. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll just kind of like look around my craft room, see what inspires me. And then as I give it to someone, and they return it back to me, I'll like look and see what's remaining, think about who I'm giving it to next, and maybe give supplies that I think kind of represents that person. But I'm also going to give them a whole bunch of other supplies too, because they might want to use something completely different than what I think represents them. Because again, there are no rules to this. It's just about having fun. All right, guys, there we go. Definitely stay tuned for part 2. Don't know when that's going to happen because like I said, I'm on no timeline here. So it might be next week. It might be a month from now. It might be 2 months from now. We'll see. But I definitely wanted to go ahead and start, like I said, while I was thinking about it. And I really think this is a really cool idea that I wanted to share with all of you. Because, you know, especially with the holidays, I don't want to say right around the corner, but not that far away. This is something pretty cool to do around that time when you have family and stuff visiting. Just have them sit down and create a spread in one of your notebooks. You know, how cool is that to look back on in the future? All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. If you have yet to subscribe, I hope you would also consider subscribing because, hey, we do a lot of fun stuff on this channel. All right, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to watch this video, and I hope you have a good rest of your day, evening, or night. Until next time, bye.